This is Danny with QuadLugs, and we're going to be building the Mini XL Quad. We're now furnishing a template for the top and bottom plates, this just as we're doing with the Mini XL Tri. And we're doing that because the cutouts are, a little bit more, I guess, more to it than any of the others. So I'm just going to get this trimmed off, and you can use scissors or, do it this way. And of course, in the kit, you'll get a piece of 3-inch wide by 7 inches long, which is going to be a little bit too long. I've trimmed this one down already. Or not too long, but you'll have, plenty. That you'll use to put this template on. And we'll have, obviously another piece of wood for the bottom, for the bottom template. And if you have the lugs, or you're buying just the lugs and you're buying the wood separately, this is 1/8 inch by 3-inch basswood, and again it's 7 inches long. And all these measurements for the wood and what we're using, the type wood we're using, is on our site, QuadLugs.com. And underneath each of the product pages. So we'll go ahead and put that on. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this, and I'm going to be cutting this on a bandsaw. A handheld coping saw is actually the best for this. It seems to work really, really good. But anyway, let me get this done, and I'll be back, and we'll start building this thing. Put on the templates earlier and left you for a little bit and went and cut them out. And I'm going to go ahead and drill these real quick. They're 1/8 inch holes. So let me get my bit here, and we'll drill these holes before we remove the templates. Okay, we've got these holes drilled out, and I'll go ahead and remove these templates. These have already been glued together, and I've already cut this tab. There would be 2 tabs here. I've already cut one of the tabs off smooth, and that's true for all of them. Now these already have holes in them, but I'm reusing these, and I do that quite often. But that's one good thing about QuadLugs, you can do that. So we're going to go ahead and prep our motor arm lugs. And again, it's in a quick build guide, and if you don't mind, please go through. I'll have to say it again, but if you don't mind, please go through and check that out. Anyway, let's go ahead and prep this. And what we're doing here is drilling this hole at the bottom there. This is used as a bit guide, and so we'll just put the top on, the adjustment head on, hold it down tight, and we'll drill through that. And I'm using an 1/8 inch bit. Okay. We're going to go ahead and put these body support lugs on your arm. This is the 6-inch piece. You have 2 6-inch pieces if you get our kit. If not, go to the product page if you're using your, a set of lugs you already have, or if you're just buying the lugs and buying your own wood or buying your wood elsewhere rather. If you go to the product page on any of our kits, it'll give you the wood that we're using, the lengths, and what type of wood and the size. So let's go ahead and get this pushed on. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and put the motor arm lugs on. And you want, first of all, let's clean that out. It's really good to clean them out after you drill them. You'll get, some of this nylon. These are made of reinforced, glass reinforced nylon. Super, super strong. So we'll get that out of there. Okay. Let me clean this up a little bit. And this is going to be our reinforcement wood that's going to go here, and that goes toward the inside. And this is going to wind up being flush. This is a little bit different than our other frame kits. Most of our frame kits have, a 90 here. These only go flush. Okay. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing here. We're going to put our crossover wood in. Make sure it's pushed all the way in. Then we're going to connect these two together. Push it. You'll have a little bit of gap in this. And that's what we want. Now we're going to kind of space these out a little bit. This is your pan, and we'll move these around so they fit in there. There we go. And you have a little bit of room there to, adjust them. I usually just try to center them up. You don't really have to spend that much time with it, but it depends on how picky you are. And this is still flush. We want to make sure that should be butting up against there. For some reason, if it's not flush, you may have to trim this wood off a hair bit. But this one right here is looking pretty good. There we go. That's looking really good. And you just want to make sure everything is pushed in. And this is a good check here. It'll be flush on either side. So we're going to go ahead and put us a couple of screws in here. We have a place to put 4 screws there. I don't know if that's really necessary. I'm just going to go ahead and put 2 of them diagonally. But you can definitely put 4 in there. I'm going to use a 16th inch bit. You only want, this is only 1/2 inch here, so maybe go through a 1/4 inch. This is to basically make sure that or to help it from not splitting. So we're going to use, let me get 3/8 inch screws here. Let me grab some. All these screws come with the kit. And we normally like to put at least double the screws in. I don't think you'll have any problem with having enough screws. What I normally do is and you've probably heard, if you watch my videos, heard me say this many times, I like to finish these off by hand. If you use the drill all the way, it can definitely strip them out. This is the top deck, and it's going to go on like that, but we'll get to that in a minute. Okay. Now what we want to do is our arms, just go ahead and put them in the adjustment heads. And some of them a bit tighter than others. There you go. So you really have to put some muscle on it sometimes to get it pushed all the way in. But you want to make sure that it is pushed all the way in. And by that I mean pushed all the way into the adjustment head. Okay, all these look good. Okay, I'm gonna check them one more time. Okay, now what we're gonna do now is we're gonna drill through this wood and this wood on this run. So we're going to go ahead and put this back on, and we want to hold it tight, and again just double check and make sure you're where you want to be, that you're happy with everything before you drill this hole. And it all looks pretty good. So we're going to hold this down, and we're gonna drill it through. Just don't push very hard. It'll make its way through. Just kind of a little bit of pressure and it'll go right on through. Okay. I'll go ahead and make sure again that you're happy with everything. And push down on this again on the adjustment head. Put a little pressure on it and it'll go right on through for you. Now I have to help my bit out. It wants to not stay in the drill, but again, if you've seen some of my videos, I like this drill. I've had a few people send me some emails like, get you a new drill, that's driving us crazy. But it's been around for a while and it's really put together a lot of these frames, and I just like it, so I help it along. Double check this again. And we're going to drill this one through. Okay, now what we're going to do is clean this out, and I usually from the bottom, so I turn it over and use the 16th inch bit, or you could use whatever you want just to get the wood out of there. And we'll do the same thing with these. Clean this up a little bit. There we go. And we're going to grab some screws. We're going to go ahead and put a nut in the receptor here. Hold it in with our finger. Put the arm on. We have the screw with the washer. And we're going to go ahead and start tightening it down. We're going to go ahead and set this at 60 degrees from the front back. 15, 30, 45, 60. Or if you're here, 30 up, 15, 30. And we'll tighten it down. So it's 60 degrees back this way, from the front back. And we're gonna do that to all of these. Let me go ahead and get the washers here. That in. Hold it in. $15, $30, 60 degrees from the front, 30 this way. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and see what our deck looks like. Fits right on. Everything's looking really, really good. Okay, we're ready for our feet and our motor mounts. Now, our motor mounts, I've already drilled these, but if you'll go to our quick build guide again, it'll walk you through all this. But basically, there's no holes in this as far as to mount it to the arm. But there's a round circle right here, and it's a little bit of an indentation. That's where they push this out of the mold. And if you'll go right in the center of this circle, and it's, when you have it in your hand, you'll see it's real easy to tell. You go in the center of that, you're right in the center of this thing. Use an 1/8 inch bit to drill that hole. And we'll go ahead and get these put on and just put them flush with the arm. And we'll get these pushed on. And that's flush. We get this one pushed on. And we'll get this one pushed on. And you may have noticed that, some are easy and some are a little bit tougher, but that's just the way the wood is. There's no problem with that. And that's all flush. Now what we'll do, we'll use our 1/16 inch bit again. We're gonna drill some pilot holes in this wood. And we'll go ahead and put some 5/8 inch long screws in. Again, it comes with the kit. It actually comes with the motor mounts. And we'll go ahead and do that. Now on the feet, we furnish one hole in there in these pieces. And if you're going to mount them and you want the screws on one side, you'll have to drill a hole in the other side. Again, we have that indentation. If you go right in the center of that indentation, it winds up putting it exactly in line with the other one. Real easy way to do it, no measuring. And then you can have the screws on both sides, or on both of the same sides. So let's go ahead and push these all the way in. And that's a key with this, is to make sure that it does make it all the way in. go. And we'll go ahead and do us an 1/8 inch pilot hole. I'm sorry, a 1/16 inch pilot hole. And let's go ahead and get these done. And we're going to do the same thing. Let me make sure this is all the way. Okay. We're going to do the same thing so the holes are on the same side. And again, we'll use the 1/16 inch bit for the pilot hose. And you don't have to go all the way, you know, just far enough, maybe halfway or so. So, you know, 1/4 inch or so. And we'll go ahead and use the 5/8 screws. Get those put in. Now if you go to the quick build guide, it'll show you the prep on the arm lugs, and we really didn't prep them completely out. You know, before we started putting it together. That's the reason it's good to go over to the quick build guide. Get one thing done at a time, and when you start putting it together, it's, you know, you don't have to go back on it. So one of the things we need to do yet is to drill a hole for our landing gear to hold it on. And again, I'll go up about 3/8 of an inch from here, up this way, and in the center here. And you can measure this, you know, put a piece of tape on it or whatever, or measure it and mark it. You know, it's up to you. I've done so many of these, you can get really, really close. But again, go through the quick build guide and it'll walk you through that. We'll get our 1/16 inch bit ready again, and we're going to shove these all the way in. And we're going to drill the pilot hole. Go ahead and put these screws in. This quad flies extremely good too. Great for FPV flying. And with the suggested motors that I have on the product page, and that's with all the kits toward the bottom of the page, I'll, you know, list what I used. Man, it's fast. Very, very fast. And you can upsize the motor even more. But what I try to do is, everything that we use on here is that it can be used, you know, on a bigger multi-rotor also. So, you know, if you want to make it a little bit bigger or use the same components on another kit, most of them you can until you get into the, you know, the 540 range on up. But you can see how fast it goes. We're almost there. We're going to check these by hand again. There you go. And our deck goes on, and your frame is ready. I'm gonna just put 2 screws in here for right now, because we'll be right in line with where they were prior. Because this is going to have to come off to do our electronics, and that's going to be coming up next. We'll have another video following this one. That's where we'll put on the electronics. And just remember that any of the QuadLugs frames, one of the unique things about it is that you can change them up. Like this one, you can, if you're happy with the body size, you can extend the arms out. I mean, this is I think like a 300, but wow, you can make this one into a 480, motor size, or arm motor to motor size. There's all kind of things you can do with this. You can try different angles. This is, it's 60 degrees. 60 degrees, you can do 45s. You can do 60, 45. So there's a lot of different things you can do with it. But we're going to do the electronics next. Makes a nice frame. Very, very sturdy. One last thing is mounting the battery mount lug. And all I did was, actually I had forgotten to do that when we put the pan on. But the 4 screw holes you have in your pan, that's what they're for, is to put the battery mount on. So they just fit there with 5/8 screws. Again, drill a pilot hole, with a 1/16 inch bit. And then use the 5/8 screws, and of course put 4 of them in, and then your Velcro strap goes in. This one's holding good. Just slides through, and there you go. What I normally do, and we'll do this whenever we do the electronics, I put a piece of Velcro on each side, and I use the loop on my quads and or my multi-rotors, and then I use the hook on the batteries and everything else I put on it, and that's just the way I do it. So whichever way you do yours, you can put the appropriate Velcro on here. And by putting this on here like this, when you put your battery on, and if you have the opposite on your battery, it's really super secure when you put it on, and that's the way I do all of them. So we'll put this on a little bit later whenever we do our electronics, and we're also going to have a piece all the way right here, so we can mount our controller, and we can put our FPV transmitter and our Mobius or our camera on the front. And we're also going to put a piece in here too. We'll do all that whenever we do the electronics. But anyway, I just wanted to show you this. I had actually forgotten about it, and that completes it. Once again, this is Danny with QuadLugs, and this is another frame put together, and this is the Mini XL Quad. And we'll see you soon. Try it. Again, I think you're really going to like it. Take care.